Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is going to be a bit of a different video, and I'm not even sure where I'm going to put it, when I'm going to put it, because it's more political, it's not self-development. So I wanted to make a video on some of my opinions on some things and ideas that I have for a wonderful society. I think I'm going to title this Caregiving as a Valued Commodity. In our society, we value hard work, but only for the big guys. We value, the type of hard work that we value seems to be oriented toward money and not people. Commercialism. If you create big products, that's greatly valued. Or the celebrities who bring a lot of money to companies, they're valued as well. But people who actually do caregiving, that's an undervalued thing. Caregivers typically, like a child care provider, is paid minimum wage, sometimes less. I used to be, before I was a nurse, when I was going through nursing school, I became a caregiving aide in a nursing home at minimum wage. And that was the toughest job I ever did. And yet it wasn't valued. My time wasn't valued. I got paid minimum wage. Benefits weren't there. Well, I was per diem, so I won't mention the benefits. But these are the people that are caring for your grandma. And these people in the child care centers are the ones caring for your child. And they're not valued. They're paid minimum wage. You, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you have to make the economic choice. Do I go out into the world and make some money? Or do I help mold this little human being to be a beautiful human being by staying home and caring for him, her, them? That's a tough choice. Especially if you're a single parent, you might not have that choice. You have to get out there and work 3 jobs and find someone that's willing to work cheap or free to watch your kids while you are at work, or having your older teenager watch all the younger ones for free because that's how you have to live. Or the alternate side of this, you're a single parent with all little ones and you don't have a family member that's able to watch for free or cheap. And so you might get yourself a job to find that your whole paycheck is going toward childcare and you don't even have enough to pay rent and food at the end of the week. So your choices are to stay at home and get public benefits, which might be the only option you have in order just to live. And so caregiving is a very important thing in this world. It's one of the most valuable occupations any human being can undertake. And it's just not valued in our society. What brought this up for me is I saw an article that was headlined, "America's Child Care Problem with COVID and Schools Being Online and Parents Having to Stay Home from Work because their kids are home from school and having to become teacher," and the economic choice that poorer families have to make, choosing between good health decision or money. If you have the option to choose to send your kids to in-person school or to stay home, you have to send them in person because schools become a babysitter, a free babysitter for our society. And that's not good, that you have to make that choice to risk yourself getting sick or getting your family sick because you have to send your kid to school so that you can go to work. So what solutions are there? Well, I think our society really needs to value caregivers a lot more than it does. And that can look a million different ways. If you stuck with me with all of my videos, you might get some ideas on how I think going way out there, putting myself out there, we need to change. And this is the perfect opportunity. This is nature's way and society's way of saying what's going on isn't working anymore. It's collapsing. Let's build again from scratch. Let's start valuing caregivers more. Let's start putting more money into the healthcare system and into resources that actually do us some good. Let's help some people who have lost their jobs find a way to go into business for themselves. A lot of them have. They've become mask makers. They have learned that their hobby of sewing could get them some income. They've learned to trade babysitting, have little pods of homeschooling babysitting to help combat this childcare crisis that we're in. So those are some of my ideas, and I came up with a thought and I wrote it all down of a way that if the government actually survives all of this, we'll see past November if we even still have a whole intact country. But if it does survive all this, there's ways that we could change some laws, change society around a little bit. And I came up with a solution that I would like to have a very rough draft sounded out into like some sort of a caregivers bill that could go forward to be a more permanent solution, not just one of these HEROES Act or caregivers bill for emergency funding for right now, but an ongoing continual thing, a nice safety net for people where we actually value the caregivers and show them that they're important. I'm just going to put it out there and list it out. It's not perfect. It needs a lot of polishing up, but this was a basic idea that I had come up with for this. We could have a caregivers bill where every primary caregiver of a child 10 or under, or a child with an IEP stating that they cannot be left alone, or an adult child with a disability, or an elderly parent, or an elderly relative such as an aunt. All these people that require care, that if we need to go into work, we might put mom in a nursing home simply because we just can't afford to have someone come into our house to help care for mom. So the option might be to put her in a nursing home where people are making minimum wage and rushing from person to person with too many people to wash up in the morning, for example. Or we could give support to the people who take the time to stay at home with their young child or their elderly parent or their disabled adult child. We can give support to those who want to go out and work but can't afford childcare or elderly care for their relative. Okay, so how does that look? Well, the thing that I came up with was just a basic idea, and this is just a sounding board, and it can be changed, and it can be tweaked, and it can be reworked all over the place. But what I came up with was an idea of a universal basic income to every single caregiver of, let's say, numbers pulled out of the air, $400 a week if you have one child or disabled adult you need to care for. And raise that to $600 if you have 2 people in your care, $700 for 3, $800 for 4 and above. I also believe that it's a universal basic income. We shouldn't dictate to the person receiving how they spend it. That could be to help them stay at home and be able to stay at home and care for their children or their adult relative, if that's what they decide they want to do with that money. Or if they want to be able to go out and get a job and be productive in this society, they can pay a caregiver to come into their home or to send their child to childcare, for example. So that is one of the things I came up with out of the top of my head. And I don't know what you'll think of this, but anyway, I love you guys so very much, and I'm grateful that you're putting up with my crazy and wild ideas, and this gives you a little bit of a glimpse into what I believe. And comment down below if you want me to do more social justice, political leaning posts like this, or give more info on my beliefs. I think I'm going to put this in the Fun Friday category because I don't want to clutter up my weekly Wednesday message that's more self-development. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Please like it if you like it. Comment down below if you have ideas for me, and if you want to keep seeing this type of content. You can even dislike it if you dislike it. I don't care. And all that being said, I love you guys so very much. I hope you have an amazing and wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Namaste.